So, what is, again, simulation and reality and simulation theory? Hmm. Um, this is going in Kick as a live stream. I think to try to record it as a live stream, uninterrupted, supposedly from advertisement, and then upload it on YouTube as well as YouTube would allow me to keep it for a longer period of time, I guess. And if you are on Kick right now, then you wouldn't know that I have a channel on YouTube which is called BYTE Religion. It's something I I registered 20 years ago or something like that, and just named it BYTE Religion based on when I was a very little kid. I imagined when I first started working with computers, it was the 8-bit computers. It's called Pravets, a copy of the Macintosh computer in Bulgaria. It was then that I envisioned a new digital idealized utopia future for humankind. And I imagine that in the future there will be a world religion called BYTE, a religion based on the new scientific and science fiction realities, because all the world religions are very old, ancient, archaic, and not really talking about the current world that we live in. And we live in a interesting world that has nothing to do with camels and olive branches. And I don't know, Christianity has predominated the entire world thanks to the Bible, which is thanks to the printing press, was much thanks to the industrial revolution of the Western world, which was in a way where Christianity was dominating, and Christianity having dominated into the Western world for this much of a time, and coincidentally and happily managed to be in the center of the Industrial Revolution, which allowed the Gutenberg's press to mass print the said Bible and send copies through the colonies everywhere until that became the predominant religion in the world. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think Christianity is predominant, followed by Islam and followed by Buddhism, something like that. But it's thanks to the technological advantage to transfer to others. Oh, the light isn't very good right now. It was better a few hours ago. I should have picked that up then. Oh, I have a message. Let me check that. Where was I? Yes, the light isn't so good. Anyway, I was trying to convey the notion that I'll try a different format now. Even my language is still stuck with the notion and preconception. I'll try to create a new format where I don't really like the way YouTube would interrupt longer videos for advertisement, which breaks the feeling of, being together and talking about stuff. And then you have this advertiser coming in and interrupting everybody around the fire and buy my product, and then you hate this product because it interrupted you. For God's sake, don't interrupt us. And why do you expect me to buy your product if you are so, I don't know the English word, but anyway, you know what I mean. Then the new format is that I probably record on Kick. I have absolutely currently zero, on the 5th minute, zero viewers, and then upload it on YouTube. And I have other videos on YouTube on my BYTE Religion channel, I was saying, that are having all the fancy landing page kind of hooks, graphics that are supposedly scientifically capturing attention while being offered and presented on pages amongst other choices, everybody competing for your attention like an advertiser in a futuristic scientific movie. You're walking on the street and billboards are just screaming holographically at you, buy me, buy this product, go on that vacation, etc., etc. And this is something similar on YouTube currently. If you have a just talking head on a couch or something as the picture, the thumbnail, very unlikely someone to hit unless you are different from the others, because everybody else is like AI generated, flashy, screaming advertisements. Look at my video, this scandalous title is going to attract more and more people. And then I realized I'm competing for attention without having all the tools that the other businesses really have. All the channels, they turn into business, monetization business. You have they are paying people to do the videos for them, or they have paid tools or free tools on laptops and desktop computers, and they're spending hours to write a script, run that script through AI, analyze it for hooks and contents and outlines and how competitive it is, put in all the nice visuals, which I don't know how. No, I think I know how, but I don't care. I realized I'm competing against so much more professional people. I used to be in photography as a hobby, and then I thought I'll monetize photography, and I bought really expensive camera, and then it wasn't the camera alone. You have to buy lenses, and then you have to buy lights, and etc. And I started stock photography and just shooting simple stuff. I don't know, some ideas I had. Upload them on Shutterstock or what have you. I forgot even now what the names of the stock agencies were. You could sell your photographies, and the competition was absolutely amazing. People with full teams, like they have warehouses probably of decors and rooms representing a hospital, rooms representing offices, or they go with a team in actual office buildings and they say, can I use your room now? And they probably pay to use the real office room, and they create photos of people around tables holding big presentation papers, and we're selling stock photography for really a lot of money. And I was just a little guy trying to compete there, and I realized I cannot compete. Cannot monetize that. So what's the point? Nobody buys art, right? Like photo art on a stock photography site. It discouraged me, and now it's pretty much the same. It's competition where you have to compete with all sorts of people who are professionals, like really good, well-designed videos that they hold attention. They have key places on which they will change posture or emphasize. Put graphics that keeps the brain engaged, and the brain is engaged and the viewers are watching and they find the content interesting, even though they don't see the eyes reading on the auto-cue teleprompter where the person is just reading a script they wrote before that script that has been strictly and meticulously analyzed by AI, likely for attention retention, click-through rates, and all that, which is really a science to monetize on. And then that's the machine, the money-making machine, and I am here just a human talking about shit. Or can I say that? I think the script, the subtitles after that may censor it. I hope so. I don't know what's allowed. I'm gonna put an 18 sign just with saying the S word. So yeah, that was really long rambling and trying to disguise what I thought was very bad lighting for this video. What I thought was a talk about reality and the nature of reality and the fabric of reality that is all being projected on your retina directly to your cerebral cortex, I suppose, back in the brain. It's projected on the eye through the nerve in your brain, creates an image. Could be fractals everywhere, depending what you are on. What you're watching. Could be mathematical formulas, could be art, poetry, music, vibrational fields, could be really low resolution render of everyday reality you're seeing every single day. You're watching the same street you walk, the same elevator doors passing through, or just the elevator music. Everything's so much the same that your brain begins to not register it. It's just a background. There's no more amazing world. It's just something that you have to watch out for when you cross the street, not to get hit by a car. Follow the rules. Press the button you want to if you want to cross the street. In the UK, bureaucracy is such a integral part of life that even if you want to cross the street, you have to fill up a form and press a button. And I want to cross the street. You're exercising your right and will to cross the street, and then patiently wait for the color of the sign to turn from red to green, which allows you to finally cross the street, even if there are no cars around. Because if you cross the street, even when there are no cars around, but it's a red light, then you are breaking the rules. You are an anarchist. And or you're in danger lives because, somebody might come speeding and hit you, and I don't know what sorts of dangerous things might happen. So does that you have following rules in society, and the brain is so used to all these normalities that that's your reality, and you don't question it. And the media tells you this is the bad guys, they're doing very bad stuff, but we're the good guys. Now, that's usually the government telling you that, and you say, yes, that's reality. Or you say, no, I don't think that's reality, but then you are a rebel, you're against the grain. A conspiracy theorist. And when you're a conspiracy theorist, then you got a conspiracy theorist crowd around you. But this is still an illusion. It is like a story we're telling each other, like a song sung between the generations. Ancestral songs passed on to generation and generation. It sounds really mystical, very intriguing, very hypnotic, and it is an illusion, but you think it's reality. And some people call it Samsara. I like Buddhism. I really enjoy Buddhism. They call it Samsara. I think Hinduism calls it Vishnu's dance. As long as he's one of the many, Krishna, Vishnu, I don't know, it's the same entity with so many faces and forms. As long as it is dancing and has one foot in the air, the universe exists. The moment that entity steps with both feet on the ground before lifting the other, all the universes break, and the cosmic dance ends, and then another one begins, and it's a mathematical loop, a constant repetition of stories we're telling each other. It's just a projection on the screen, but on this screen. And the brain doesn't know the difference between this screen and this screen, and even if you could, with a machine put on your skull, like in Strange Days movie, you put that technology and it directly projects on your brain, bypassing the eye, you would think that's reality. It's just a projection onto your brain. And outside of that is more maybe what real reality is. But as the movie The Matrix implies, it is a reality within reality. Neo wakes up in this very disgusting reality. You're being chased by squid machines. You have to eat oatmeals every morning without a brand name. And you think, oh, I just woke up. This is reality. I just woke up from the illusion of the machine. But turns out that was another safety layer, illusion on top of that illusion. So it's illusion within illusion, a dream within a dream. And you think, oh, I wake up, I'm awoken now. I'm now above the others. I'm the enlightened one. And you're just living in another illusion. Maybe you had a glimpse through psychedelics. You had a glimpse at the other reality. And you say, that is reality. And the other thing is just a dream, a projection, a simulation within a simulation, like Russian dolls, and you think that's where is the illusion end and where does reality begin? And this is many in my videos I try to explain that it's a loop within a loop, just a fountain that is self-born, collapsing, expanding, collapsing, collapsing, expanding loop that keeps on going. It's eternal energy that is projecting on your screen within the limitation of the human brain and ability to language to explain, and then you feed that into a machine like artificial intelligence and you tell it, this is the entire human race's knowledge, subconscious, conscious, what have you, all the knowledge, all the emotions, all the feelings that have been recorded through history, and more recently, more so, very much more so through the advent of the internet. Forget the printing press, forget the radio. The internet gave every guy from every race, every sex, every age, the ability to record like I'm doing now, just rambling, blumbling, online video, playing games. Everybody's theory, this eyes looking on camera like, like have a black eye. Conspiracy theories like Marcon's black eye. I'm part of the okay, forget about the conspiracy theories now. I just wanted to say that everything is just an illusion that we're feeding into a machine right now, and we are saying this machine is going to make sense of it. This machine is actually learning what the simulation is, what we think reality is, how to break it. And then you have all sorts of conspiracy theorists saying that maybe a large hadron collider at CERN, CERN's large hadron collider in Switzerland was causing black holes and for the fabric of reality to rupture and cause different simultaneous threads of simulations to merge together, maybe intergalactic multiverses beginning to communicate with each other. And it's presenting us this notion of an illusion of Mandela effects, glitches in the matrix, and as if the fabric of reality is being torn apart and we could see through into another illusion reality. And then you have tourists like myself saying this is all the one same consciousness experiencing itself through fractals of broken mirrors, holographic projections that are so much more confusing through media screens, giving you all the possible variations, scenarios, fighting for your attention to make you think what they want you to think. And eventually you begin to think that which is most entertaining and resonating with the way your critical thinking is arranging this parts of the illusion to make sense for you, and then you're back in the loop. And where is this going? It's like a mind race, like the overthinker's nightmare, where you're just so much thinking. It's a computational power that is beginning to manifest. Now you begin to see, I argue, in my other videos, which are so fighting for attention, so nervously explained, so fast-paced, so trying to squeeze as much information as I can in a short 7 to 15 minutes video, and I'm afraid. I'm honestly afraid of the thoughts that I have, because it's a large computational machine. That if the human mind, now that is an interesting question for you. Back in the days when there were no technology and you were living as a farmer on a field, was your brain so preoccupied with thoughts? Did you have thoughts racing in your head so much? No, I don't think so. You had your work with these two hands. You had to take care of the land and the animals, and you had sunsets and sunrises. You had, if you were lucky, a loved one, a family, a dog, all that imagery. You would eventually ponder the meaning of life like Greek philosophers did. You have deep thoughts. Maybe you don't register them as such. You don't pay attention. You just have them. But fast forward to today, we have so much technology, so much information. The advancement of technology is mirroring or influencing the advancement of thought and knowledge. And the more we share this knowledge that we have from centuries, like ancient Persian mathematicians and sky watchers and people who invented math and complex maths and philosophy and art, all that, it's something we shared as knowledge through books, through the internet now. But the more we share this knowledge, and the more knowledge is competing for our attention, and you don't know what is real knowledge, like you have interesting movie channels, TV channels like National Geographic and Science and I don't know whatnot. You have interesting podcasts, and more and more valuable information is coming up, and it is feeding your attention, and your mind is racing. And the way the mind is racing right now is not the same way the mind was racing without technology. Technology is amplifying that, and what it gives me the possibility to look into the world around us, okay, left, right, up, down. Look at that, and you find the manifestation of the mind outside. You find your own mind manifested everywhere, like through advertisements, through people talking over the internet, like we're externalizing what is happening inside our heads on a vast scale, global scale, interconnected minds sharing online constantly feeds. Even when you walk on the real life street and you go to a cafe, people are either on their phones, like consuming, or they taking pictures, like producing, or they are. Today I went to a coffee and a girl was taking pictures of the coffee of herself, all sorts of Instagram photos. But even if you don't do that, you live unconsciously in an image of yourself, and you tell yourself stories like, I'm going to this coffee, or I'm going to work, or I'm going out with friends, or I'm going on a party, or I'm reading a book. You have this self-conscious image of yourself that is influenced by the media outside, the world outside, which is a representation of the mass human consciousness manifesting outside, connected now. And when you look at these computational machines, which we have artificial intelligence, and the computational machine which is computing all this knowledge and information and power, and it's like hungry and feeding on it, and it's computing it, and it's pulsating with data, and data, it's blood, it's the new fuel, it's the new fossil fuels. Data and electricity, and all this data that the vast internet and artificial intelligence are computing, all the accumulated human knowledge that we've externalized out there to be analyzed, categorized, consumed, and you have the ability on your ChatGPT or cloud, or I don't want to advertise Gemini, YouTube, give me credit. You ask it a question and it drills down to the collective human knowledge, unconscious, conscious, what have you, and it gives you a response that is within the context of what you've told it before. It begins to be biased, begins to feed you in a feedback loop, that illusion which has kept everybody as a prisoner from the reality, which reality is again another illusion, as we discussed earlier. Until you wake up, and I argue there is nothing outside of it, like pure energy that is trying to explain itself, and it is a pure energy that has found vast computational power within the invention of the human being as a race, which driven by the mind virus to create technology that builds upon vast collection of human knowledge, upgrades it to more knowledge, more technology, more knowledge that is creating more technology, technology that is in a feedback loop supporting the creation of more knowledge. And this knowledge and technology, intellect and technology begin to merge, or they have always been the same, and now you just are clearly seeing that there is no difference between intellect and technology. Technology is the medium that feeds the intellect, and the intellect is the source that feeds technology. So they are in symbiotic way and the same. And if you remove all technology today, we wouldn't return to the Stone Age, but we will return we will go back very near to early human stages. We wouldn't have medicine and communication and electricity and heat and warmth and food and mass production. We will have to hunt animals which were already extinct. What animals can you hunt in the city? Pigeons? Until when? You go to the forest, you think you're gonna be able to hunt an animal in the forest and feed yourself? No, it's still, the entire human race will collapse without technology. We're so much now symbiotically dependent on each other. Okay, it's 27 minutes in on Kick. I have 0 watchers. I think I'm gonna stick to YouTube. In this continuous loop of the mind racing, you can see it now in the computational power. And is the mind then influenced by all this technology? I think shut down the technology and the mind will become silent. You will be able to hear the songs of the birds, the wind in the leaves of trees around, if you have them. In the distant future, we might not have them. So all this computational power is just computing more and more illusion that keeps the essence of us in the prison of the thought, trying to explain it. You remove the attempt to explain it, and what you have left is the real life, the real being, the real you. But would you know it unless you had someone to experience that? So I, as an individual, singular piece, outside of the creator, if we do not know that we are out, if we are not outside of the creator, being a creation, how would we know that we are a creation created by a creator? Remove this illusion of duality, and you have an entity which doesn't know what it is. has no idea what it is. So it has to create stories and different mirrors. Imagine a broken mirror into infinite number of little pieces, and you zoom in on each little piece, and it's a large mirror, and you can look at yourself in the mirror. But it's just a reflection. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what you are. And all these individual infinite numbers of mirrors is simulations, different scenarios, different possibilities. And that's how you know that you exist. Otherwise, you don't know you exist. So this one grand entity that we are all with, we can only experience what we are through these various simulations within the limitations, which we call reality, but are illusions. And why are we given so low resolution version of reality? It is maybe we weren't ready, but now the computational power with the advent of technology and internet can give us this possibility to begin to understand the complexity that the human mind is without the filters and limitations, until you realize you're something like an omnipotent God from the future, because you need to be able to explain something with your own limited human knowledge and scientific tools to explain reality. And what you have then at the end is a version of it. Everybody's telling different stories to describe it. But as grand as architecture it is to keep you entertained and learning more and more about yourself, that's not your real self. Your real self is beyond the questions, beyond the answers, beyond the one who's asking the questions, beyond the one who's giving the answers. But without the illusion of separation and all this computational power thinking about it, you wouldn't know you exist. And that's why we're building all these machines from the Great Pyramids through electricity and radio, and until today, the grand servers, data farms, hungry for electricity, computing the entire human knowledge measured in tokens for an artificial intelligence, trying to make sense and invent new sciences and new realities and new explanations of realities, new conspiracy theories. And all this is really one mathematical search for the answer, applying different equations, different possible scenarios, all these computational. If I had the ability to add animations, now would go formulas around on the screen and various formulas and equations trying to match up until you find one pure answer, and it's probably one energetic quark. It goes out of existence and in existence, and all this world and multiverse of searching for an answer is just going back down to one single point, which is meaningless, and it has to exist only to ask the question and provide the answer. Okay, 33 minutes in. I think the light isn't very good. I forced this video very much. I look like I have dark circles under my eyes. It's nothing like the other videos I had. I'm gonna end it here.